I forgot about that. So thank you, David. I'm so glad that I actually hit record this time. So, hola. Hola, Chiapas. Y bienvenido a The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. I am drinking lemon water because hydration is very important.
Hey y'all, I am Lana, your resident diva. I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink that tea because you know I love me some tea. Brr. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I too am currently only drinking water today. But if I was drinking anything else, I would drink it out of my cup mug. Cup mug, cup mug. Oh wow! Somebody's super excited with their cup
There's
mug.
nothing in my cup mug for the first time today, so I can go.
Well, if you want to be excited about a cup mug or any other of our cup merch, go to the link below in the description, LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com, and you too get your own cup mug to be excited about. And we ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. And I'm looking at you, Mexico. I'm looking at all of you. Arr.
Well, I'm David Healy, La Más Lenta, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. What did we do earlier?
Oh,
I do declare.
I didn't realize you were wearing her shirt.
Yes, it was deliberate. I'm wearing Miss Blair St. Clair's shirt. So that worked out well. But you mean burr.
Oh, I was going to make the joke after your intro, but that's fine.
And I'm drinking water.
Work. Well, now that we're actually recording, I'm very excited to talk about La Mas Draga, Sexto Sentido, episode 8. Can you believe we're already 8 episodes in?
I know it's...
Yeah.
And there's still 7 people left. I think it's 12 episodes.
It is.
Because from
it's
what I've seen,
12.
Yeah, it's always 12, and I'm pretty, except for the early seasons were 9. Because there were less people. This episode was an episode of television on YouTube and not television. I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was fine and good. And the quality of this season is staying consistent, which I will take.
Yep. I liked it too, almost as much as I like it when people hit the subscribe button. So, yes, if you're watching, you should hit subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you get notifications when we put up our podcast. And also, please leave comments because we love comments. We love interacting with you all. We love learning from you all. So please do all that. But yes, it was a good episode.
I mean, the Lamas fans are always good about that.
Mm-hmm. They're the best.
And we're very thrilled that y'all enjoyed our slumber party episode last week. It will not be the last time that happens for us because we record late. This is what we do sometimes, especially for Lamas. So, but Lana, what do you think of the episode?
I liked the episode. I thought it was fun. It was a fun episode. It wasn't a lot of what we typically get when we watch LeBron. We get a lot of drama, a lot of shade, a lot of petty fights and things. This episode, we didn't get that. And I enjoyed that. It was refreshing. We got moments, but I even think in the petty moments, they were petty shade. It was like fun. It was different.
There was a levity to this whole episode.
Exactly. It was definitely lighter feel. Everybody seemed to enjoy being in the Knicks workroom together and all of that. It was actually really a fun episode.
But yes, we come in. Johnny greets us as per usual. And we find out that this week's challenge is La Mas Animada. Very excited. Very, very excited. And then our beautiful, beautiful friendo, Alexis Tres XLs, walks in. Thank you to everyone for clarifying, even though we looked it up mid-video, about Alexis and her gender identity. We still even learned more things about Alexis and her gender identity, which was lovely. So thank you, everyone, for commenting. I'm not even exaggerating. I think it was 20 times.
I know, but it makes me love Alexis even more. Like, she's just so unique to like this world of drag as far as like what we get as a winner. Like, we don't get that as winners in the United States. We don't even get close to it, and it's not fair.
I was gonna say, I believe she is one of two. I'm gonna use this outdated term, and I don't use this term anymore, but it's the term that was used for both of these people. AFAB. She is one of two AFAB queens to win a reality competition program on this level. Because currently it is her and Geneva Convention from Camp Onakiki are the only two.
Probably Land Insider.
Oh, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. I'll say cis female drag queens.
Right.
That's what
there we go. Yeah.
Landon is in a whole other category of his own. But yeah, love Alexis. I am very excited for our watching of old seasons of La Mas. Because I'm very excited to see Magos in season 1, and I'm very excited to see now Alexis in season 2. Did y'all see the commenters let us know as well that Todas La Mas is allegedly starting in December? So we are not going to get a break.
We need a break. That's so
All Stars.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not, allegedly. You know what, though? If it's happening, I will be here talking about it. I can tell you that much.
Oh, shit.
I will be prioritizing that. I can't resist. No, I love it. I'm obsessed.
Is there a cast that's already been?
I don't know.
Filmed it?
There was one of our commenters. I don't remember who it was, and I'm so sorry. But if you're listening to this, we appreciate you letting us know. There was someone that was saying allegedly at the finale, which is happening in a few weeks, they're going to announce that Todas La Mas is starting, I think, mid-December.
I wonder if that means starting filming mid-December.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. But
guess we will see.
We shall see. And if
I want to go. I want to go to that finale. I'm so tempted.
I want to go and not understand a single thing they're saying and still have a great time.
That's my thing is like, I know that because I can fly for free. So wherever it is, I can just fly there. But my thing is like, how do I like get around and communicate? Because I know un poquito español, not very much at all. I am menos when it comes to Spanish. So I would just be so lost.
Oh, look at David using all the terms. Oh, good job, David.
I should be better after 4 years of Spanish.
Well, I'm telling everyone. I really do think that the three of us need to start Duolingo for Spanish because I think that would be very beneficial.
I honestly, I was thinking about this earlier. I said, with all the drag races, and I think it was when I talked to Adriana on Instagram, I was like,
from Italia,
but I was like, I should really start learning all these different languages of the shows that we're talking about. It'd be great because if we want to invite these queens on our show, we should be able to speak the language and understand what they're saying. So it was like,
at least somewhat,
somewhat, a little bit. So
I use Duolingo daily, but it's just I'm learning French and Portuguese at the moment. And I know enough Spanish, and the comments have been very nice to me about my pronunciation of Spanish words. So thank you, comments. But tangents like these are why we take an hour and 45 minutes to do these episodes. David was like, "Do you really think we could do this in under an hour?" And I'm like, "No." And it's tangent like these. So
Yep.
Alexis comes in, announces there's no chiquirato this week. Oh. But now you have to randomly pick your makeover partner via a piece of paper.
Yeah, with a symbol or a picture on it.
And Juana gets to pick all of them for everybody.
Yep.
And I will say, I think Juana got the best partner. Or the most adept to doing
partner.
drag.
Yeah, I would say the easiest partner for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We like a good challenge on these shows, right?
They really do.
Not this challenge that they gave them this week. Because, so our makeover partners are luchadors. And I think that's
Lucha Libre superstars.
And I think that's absolutely incredible and lovely and wonderful and great. However, my frustration with the way that this entire thing was set up is that 4 of them were wearing masks that you can't take off because that's a thing. And I get that.
More than 4.
I don't remember. I think it was 4 or 5 of 8.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Was it not 6?
It might have been 6. I think
Juana's partner
and Kelly.
Kelly were the only partners that didn't have masks.
They were the only ones.
They were the only ones.
Kyliezz also didn't.
No,
because Kyliezz had that conversation about. Can you?
Yeah, there's only 2 of them that didn't.
Then okay, in that case, have them all wear masks.
Yes.
Or have none of them wear masks. Like that was my frustration. It's just like it felt like everyone had a different challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, on top of that, they had all brought a look for La Mas Animada, and then now they have to adapt it into from it being a solo concept to being a duo concept.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, Aries specifically, was like, "Well, I'm basically scrapping everything I'm doing," and it's like, in what universe is that fair? Like, I understand whatever. And I absolutely respect the mask situation. I love it. I respect it. I think that's incredible. I'm not the wrestling viewer here on this current panel. That would be Lana. But I respect it and I think that's lovely. But I just wish the challenge was all of them are in masks or none of them are in masks. But then we would have lost the personalities of Juana and Kelly's partners. So I'm like, but I don't know. I think of the challenge, the Knicks Lounge, all that.
Yeah. So my notes, I have Kelly talking to her partner and teaching him about drag. And this is what I really loved. I loved Kelly's partner. And I loved how, like, he's starting from ground zero, no knowledge whatsoever. He didn't even really understand what a trans woman was. So she got to teach him like he was an empty cup and just slowly filling him up with knowledge. And he was so receptive. And just
an empty cup like this cup.
Mm-hmm. Just like that one. Not like mine, because mine has prep in it.
And mine is empty.
Yep. I can't do that. But
you could.
Yeah, I mean, I could. We'd be spilling a bottle everywhere. Yeah. But I just thought it was so funny, their dynamic, because they are both so talkative. Like, we've heard it about Kelly so much, and she just kept complaining. She's like, he does not stop talking. I'm like, girl, now you know how everybody else feels about you.
she said that.
I love how self-aware she was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I guess this is my karma for talking so much. And now I can't get a word in edgewise. So I'm like, yep, girl. Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm. And it was after this that we had Kyliezz talking to her partner. And she's like, so can you take off your mask for this? And he's like, no. And that's when I'm like, wait, really? Wait, really? I had to like message my roommate. I'm like, oh my God, they're doing a family resemblance challenge, but they can't take off their masks because I could not. I was gagged. Like my jaw was like dropped because I did not see that coming. But he explained it. He said, yeah. I mean, you know about this, Lana. You kind of keep up with this sort of stuff too for Lucha Libre, or no?
Kind of keep up with this. I know about this, yes, because
Lana is aware of this concept.
Yes, I knew the second they walked in. I was like, "Oh, it's Lucha Libres. They're not going to be able to take those masks off." I knew that from the second they walked in. I was like, "They're not going to be able to take this mask off, so this is going to be a thing." And I thought everybody was going to have a mask. That's what my whole thing. I was like, "So everybody's going to have a mask, and they're going to have to work around this mask," which would add to the animation part of the anime concept because they're wearing a mask. So you could just work around this mask type deal for the animation thing. But I was like, when I saw Kelly's partner and then Juana's partner, I was like, oh, everybody's not wearing masks. But everybody in Lucha Libre don't have to wear masks. But the Luchador the luchador concept, those who wear masks, that is a sacred thing. Like they're never seen in public without their mask. You never go out, you're never on television, never do anything without your mask. And once you take your mask off, that means you're done with wrestling. You're done with the whole thing, the lifestyle, and it's the lifestyle for them. And so it's very important. And so I was like, oh, that's not going to do that. But then they were like, and then when she asked me to take it off, I was like, you don't know. I was like, oh, girl, you don't know about Lucha Libre, do you? You don't know about the luchadors. But yeah, I was shocked that they did this. And I was shocked that they did it in a makeover family resemblance challenge. But I was like, but the animation part makes sense too.
Right.
The pieces were not coming together for this challenge overall. I wish they had just brought them in to do a challenge. None of them had family resemblance whatsoever.
I feel like it shouldn't have been a family resemblance challenge, maybe more like a animated story challenge. Like give us the
duo
best
challenge.
That's kind of what I got though. Like I don't think people were really penalized for not looking like each other as much.
But that is how it was marketed.
True.
So I don't know. It was just a little frustrating.
I mean, I think they realized very early that ain't nobody gonna do no family resemblance with these masks, with these with the whole like people said they had to scrap their whole looks to try to accommodate this. And so I think it got to the point where people were like, we're not gonna be able to do this. But what we can do is make a good story and put on a good performance, and there we go. We're a dynamic duo, but we are not going to be family resemblance. If this was on another drag show and they were family resemblance, the judge would have ate all of them alive because they were like, "Where's the resemblance?" But this wasn't that.
Yeah, and I completely get what you all are saying. I don't think I'm as down on it as you all because
I'm not down on it.
Okay, well, I think
I am not down on it either.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm pissed at production. I don't care about any of the things that the queens are doing. I'm like, why is production doing this, marketing it, making Alexis say that this is a family resemblance challenge when it's not a family resemblance challenge? This is just a duo challenge because you're bringing in a group where 3/4 of the people can't take off their masks because it's literally their livelihood.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I just thought it was an interesting dynamic, personally.
Like, I agree, yeah.
Yeah, I was so intrigued with how it actually came about. Like, I don't think they all worked super well. But I will spoil that I think the people with the masks, for the most part, I was kind of impressed with them and what they did do. But yeah, we do get a part that I thought was hilarious where Shantelle, and this, I know, I get it's frustrating, but Shantelle is trying to put her outfit, like a sleeve around one of her the pig guy around
Mhm.
his arm, and she like gets it like halfway up his arm, and she's like, yeah, this is not gonna fit on you. But props for trying, girl.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Ew.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I agree. I like the dynamic and I like seeing how they were going to make this work. But it was just like, wow. I mean, I was already fascinated just seeing the luchadors in there in the first place. And David kind of alluded to me in the group chat, was like, "You're going to love it." And I'm like,
Mhm.
why? And then I saw it and I was like, this is why. David says, I'm the wrestling person, so I'm going to love it. And I did. I did enjoy it. And I liked how they decided to perform together, and that was my thing. I was like, oh, they have a really, really good opportunity with these luchadors to do a really interesting and dynamic performance if they do it right. Because these guys are big guys. They can pick people up. They pick people up for a living. They can do lots of stunts and tricks and all kind of stuff. If they did it right, I thought the show could have been an amazing runway, on there. But it it was just fun. It was a fun experience. And them in that Nick's lounge, oh my gosh. It was everything that was funny and raunchy and hilarious and horny and crazy and wacky as ever. I felt like they needed fresh people in that workroom to cut off all the negativity. And these men brought in all the testosterone that they needed to help lift their spirits a little bit. And it was hilarious.
I also think it helps that Ariel is gone.
That too.
I said what I said.
That too, because she was a dark cloud in that workroom.
She stirred most of the pots this season. If you look objectively at the drama that's happened this season, I would say minimum 75% of it involves Ariel in some capacity. So,
I mean, you got to give Purga some credit there too.
oh no, of course, those are not mutually exclusive.
True.
But I'm saying Purga is probably about 60% of it, and the only reason why it's not more is because she got eliminated when she should have. So, yeah, I love the whole workroom situation. Kelly's partner doing all of the egging on, like, who said you should go home? Say their names.
We want names.
Say their names.
They were hilarious. And it was so funny because you could see the dynamics between the people. Like some of the wrestlers, they were just kind of very quiet, low key. And then you had the others who were just loud and abrasive and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, but you could see the camaraderie between them because even like it is a brotherhood with them or sisterhood or whatever when you're in that group. And so they enjoy just being together, and they're around each other all the time. Wrestlers get no breaks, hardly ever. They work 365, at least 362 days out of the year, and they go and they work and they work and they work. So they're together all the time. So they built this camaraderie, and so it was funny to see like the one guy who was Kelly's partner, and then the other guy with the silver mask.
His name's Fresero.
Yeah, he was over there and he was talking with. They were like, "So who you go bang tonight?" And he was like, "I'm gonna get somebody. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna get somebody tonight." And they had these queens blushing, like they were like, "Oh my god!" Like I imagine what a men's locker room for them sounds like. It's just a bunch of horny old like testosterone filled men just talking about sex and women and all kind of foolishness. Because I don't care what nobody say, men gossip more than women. Yes, straight men gossip a whole lot more than women do if you put them in the right environment. And that is what we saw because that man was like, who said this? Who do you think should go home? who didn't go home before they go to say their name. And I was living for that because you would think that'd be the girls sitting the tea. Like, oh, who said this? You said those men be spilling tea all the time, and I just loved watching it. And when they picked Kelly up, and she was just like, I was like, yes, I would have loved that to be picked up and man. Okay, never mind. Moving on. Keep going.
Adding that to the compilation of Lana peeking her mic in this one day. Every time you go to Scream, your mic peaks, and I really enjoy it. And it's no shade to you. It's very entertaining because you go to Scream and then we just don't hear the scream.
I don't know what to say to that.
Anyway, shall we talk about looks?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Let's do that. And also that. I did it. La Mas Animada. I definitely didn't pull the judges' looks this week.
Oops.
Didn't do that. So
they look good though.
This is like the one week where I should have pulled it because everybody looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And our guest judge, Faye, queen of Mexican disco pop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We don't know who she is. Please educate us. I'm sorry. Apologies. So, first up, we have Electra. Their partner is Pig Destructor. What a fucking name. Pig Destructor. And I also want to thank the person that does the English subtitles for La Mas at Chucho_Q. So thank you, Chucho, for tweeting for all of the non-Mexican fans. Hi, that's us. About what these cartoons were. So I really do appreciate it. So Electra is giving Katie La Oruga, which is an adorable 80s animated feature about a caterpillar getting her cocoon ready to become a butterfly.
Let me go first. I like this. And Electra's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. She's way up there for me. When she came out, I was like, okay, we've seen Caterpillar before. We've seen it from Juana, and I really like what Juana did with this. But I think that Electra did very well as well, and I like that she kind of gave her person their own kind of identity here. She was not afraid to mess up the outfit, put some spray paint on it, and have it adapt his style. There's parts of her look that I feel like we've seen before, but she still looks really good to me. And I really like the story. I like the message. At first, I was like, why is he leaving already? And then we saw her kind of reveal into the butterfly, and the wings weren't going up, and she was being made fun of. And he came over and he defended her. And I'm like, okay, I like how this story ended. So I thought it was a success for her. She was definitely one of my favorites this week.
I did too. I enjoyed this look when it came out. I was like, oh, that's great. That's a really good look. And I appreciate that she took the time to make an outfit that looks just like hers, and it wasn't like a throwaway outfit. You know what I mean? It was just like, I don't know if she had two puffer coats to begin with. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But
maybe she did.
Maybe she did. And that's great. I mean, that's smart. You did what you had to do. But I agree with you, David, with that she took the spray paint and made it adapted it to his style to go with hers. And then I did like the story. I liked the performance. It was like, at first I was like, oh, the wings aren't going up. Is that a mistake or whatever? But then it was like, oh no, that's the story. and everybody's making fun of her because she wasn't a fully out butterfly, and they made fun of her, and then he came and defended, and I was like, oh, I love that. I thought this was one of my favorites of the night. So
this was definitely one of the more successful partnerships for sure. She definitely deserved her top spot. We realized before we started recording that Electra still has not won a challenge, which I think is wild.
criminal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought the story of it was very strong. The execution was good. I like integrating in, what was his name? Pig Destructor into the whole story. I'm like, there are 3 of them and they all have very similar names. So I just have to make sure that I am talking about the correct pig. But yes, it's lovely. Scores.
I gave her an 85.
88.
91. Next up, we have Dimittra and her partner, Canis Lupus. Dimittra, from what we understand, is giving La Familia Buron, which is a very iconic Mexican comic strip where everything is very exaggerated and big and goodies.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give my hot take for the night. I actually like this. I thought what they did was fun. I thought they kind of looked the most animated of anybody. Like their costumes were so adorable to me, and their delivery was great. We saw earlier in the episode, they were kind of practicing how to walk and deliver, and Dimitria gave some advice. She's like, just fag it up. And I think that he definitely fagged it up. We saw him like kind of prancing around, so much so that unfortunately his wig fell off. I don't think they let it distract too much from the performance. They didn't get flustered. They didn't pick it up, which I thought was fine to leave it down. They still carried on with the performance. And overall, I thought it was a strong delivery. So would I have had them in the bottom? Not even close, honestly.
I kind of agree with you. I like this look. I think that definitely the most animated look out of pretty much everybody on the runway. It was really good. I liked the delivery. I liked how um, Dimitri did do herself up really good and give him a throwaway costume. It was really good, and I like how she respected the mask, because that's not the mask he came in. So he wore a mask, but she gave him a different mask that will actually go with the costume, and she could put a little makeup on it to make it animated. So I appreciate that she respected his wishes to keep his mask, but he respected her enough to say, if you give me something that fits your costume, I can put that mask. It doesn't have to be my big elaborate mask that I wear. It can be a different kind of mask. And I love that. I agree. The performance was really good. I think I wish she would have glued the wig down so it wouldn't have fallen off. But I think even with what they did was like when he picked her up, I think the wig would have fell off anyway. I don't know. But I guess if she would have glued it down tight, maybe. But I like the performance. I like the look. I was a fan of this one. I was like, this is very animated. This is what they asked for, and she delivered.
I don't think he picked her up. I think this is one of like the 2, which were at the bottom 2, who they didn't get picked up. Because I don't think logistic. No, because she has the boobs. The boobs would have popped.
I thought it was like a fireman carry, but maybe not. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think everything that Dimittra did in this challenge was good. I like her look. I like the other look. I like the wig. I like the mask with the makeup. And then her partner kind of screwed her over. Because I think his performance was the absolute worst out of any of the partners. And so unfortunately, because it's being judged as a duo, I can't look past the fact that the wig fell off. There was effort there, and I will applaud that. But it was clunky. He didn't know where he was going half the time. She had to like direct him half the time. It was not good at all.
Mm.
And I love Dimittra, so I'm frustrated that I have to say that, but that's just...
I thought that was part of the story, was her kind of showing him what to do.
No.
That's how it came across to me.
Me
I
too.
don't think it is.
Mm.
But scores.
You felt. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You can go ahead, Lana.
I said, I felt like they were the sidekick, and what sidekicks are not the brightest, and I think that's why I felt like that was part of the story. But
Well, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and assume that was part of the story. And if it wasn't, she made it look like it was. So I'm giving them an 83.
I think this was a really good and successful look. So I'm giving it a 88.
I'm going to give it a 75. Next up, we have Shantelle and Chantelle's partner, Pig Destroyer. Not to be confused with Pig Destructor.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this. I hate that this is my life right now. Shantelle is serving El Libro Vaquero, which is a raunchy pulp book that is still sold in newsstands in Mexico. So,
Okay.
Cowboy.
Well, there's things I like about this and things that I don't. I will say, I thought Shantelle did really well with her delivery on this. You could tell she was really playing into the animation here, and I thought her partner did okay as well. My issue is that I don't feel like he was dragged up enough. Like, it felt like very minimal. Like, this could have been a Lucha Libre costume to me, and I would have believed it. I just wanted to see a little bit more effort in his look. It seemed like it was more of an afterthought. And then once Latal brought it up, I definitely saw the issues with the nose and the makeup. Like, it was not her best with that. Also, her ear fell off at one point. Overall, it ended up
When he
being...
picked her up.
Yes, exactly. It ended up being a little bit sloppy overall, so I wanted more for her. I was actually surprised her score was as high as it was, because for me, she was in my bottom two. But I still like her, and I like the effort that she put into her performance. It just wasn't super successful.
I was not a fan of this look. I wasn't a fan of either look. I felt like he got a throwaway. And her outfit wasn't that great either to me. I noticed the nose even before LaSalle said. I was like, why is it not the same color as her face? Or it looks out of place. And then the ear fell off when he picked her up. It was just the whole performance to me was really clunky, really sloppy. I wasn't a fan. I didn't really like this on either person.
And I do want to quickly say, like, she had no idea she was going to have a partner in a pig mask. So I appreciate her trying to be adaptable and trying to make herself look a little bit more like his character. So yeah, she clearly wasn't prepared to have a pig nose.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I think that you can tell that there's clear inconsistencies in the costume that she made for him. The chaps are not the same length. They hit the floor weird. It's baggy. The shirt's baggy. It looks cheap. All of it. It's unfortunate because I really do enjoy Shantelle. I was surprised her score was as high as it was as well. Scores.
She's gonna get bonus points for her delivery of this, so I'll give her a 64.
45.
I'm going to give her a 70. Next up, we have Cattriona and Pig Pool, not to be confused with Pig Destroyer or Pig Destructor.
Exactly.
And they are doing El Gato GC, which is a game show mascot. So the character that Cattriona is doing is the cat.
Okay.
Shocker. Cattriona is
Doing
doing
a cat.
Yep. So immediately when they come out, I look at her partner and I'm like, he looks so bizarre. Like, it kind of reminds me of if you took like the Trunchbull from Matilda and tried to put her in drag. Like, that's kind of what I'm getting from him. He just like is so out of place in this, but that actually added to my enjoyment. Like, this was another one during the Knicks lounge. She was so worried because she was talking to him and he just was giving her nothing. Everything she would ask, he'd be like, I don't know. I don't know. He just seemed so uninterested in this. So I was so pleasantly surprised with how this turned out. And I thought Catriona's performance was so good. And you could tell that she really adapted her performance to him and to this theme and made it all about wrestling. So um, I think that what really turned whether somebody was successful or not is how adaptable they were. It's not about being the most animated for me. It was the most adaptable. And I think that's why she was so successful in this. And she looks great. So yeah, the wig is ratty, but who cares?
Okay. So I was torn with this look because I was like, I understand the whole you not knowing about this partner person and what they're going to bring, and don't know who they are, how big they are, how small they are. It was way to have to adapt this whole situation. I felt like she just threw something together real quick for him. Here, put that on. And then her look was fine. It was nothing major. It was just the mascot head. It was okay. And like all mascots who deal with it, the head kept turning around on her head, and so she had to fix it and adjust it. I didn't care about that because that happens to a lot of mascots when they're actively doing things. What saved this whole entire thing for me was her performance because the looks, not that great on either one. Wasn't a fan of either look. But the performance that she gave saved this whole thing. Do I think it would have been my top? Probably not. But she would have been in the top 3 for sure because she gave an incredible performance. She adapted to his style. She incorporated his skills. She incorporated her skills. And they just went so well because wrestling is nothing but a big dance. And that's what she is. She's a dancer. And so all she did was go out there and they choreographed a whole dance. And that's what he does every single time he's in the ring. And so she was super smart to use that and put that together because, like I said, the looks didn't do it for me, but the performance completely saved it and salvaged the whole thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This was my favorite of the night, and I think it was the combination of the look, which wasn't the best on either of them, but the performance. She was la más adaptable. Like, she was the most adaptable in this situation. And she really took what could have been a big negative for her and made it into a big positive. The wig just being so ratty and all over the place and falling over, it made me laugh so much that I was just like, I don't even care what the fuck is happening. And then when they do the trick and then she reveals out of the mascot head, that was my favorite part.
Mhm.
This was the only one for me that felt fully, no, that's a lie. This and Electra were the only two performances that felt fully thought out for me.
I have one more.
Well, I may
We'll
not
talk about it.
I may agree, but I'm not going to right now, so I'm going to say it wasn't.
Sure.
I don't remember who it was, but whatever. Scores.
I gave Cattriona an 87.
Performance alone got it a 79.
Oh, God. I'm going to give it a 92. Next up, this is the one. I still disagree, even though I agree. Because I'm going to be different. Next is Aries.
Different or difficult?
Anyway.
That's all you
Aries
can say.
and her partner, Hysteriosis.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm saying that right. Regardless, her reference is from Frankelda's Book of Spooks, a stop-motion TV series by Cinema Fantasma, and you can currently stream it on Max if you really wanted to.
Well,
I'll just get it out of the way. This was my Lamas of the week. And it was not even close. Like I was obsessed with everything going on in this performance and the way they look. By far, my favorite looks. First of all, like I don't know, it's just so good. Like she really knew how to take this guy in the mask and just give him a look that would absolutely work. And to think about, this was like something she just came up with. She tossed her original idea out the window and came up with this. I'm like, you were almost unstoppable in this competition. And as soon as he comes out and does that flip over her, I'm like, oh my God. I was living for this. This was so good. I could not believe she didn't win. Could not believe it. Favoritism where?
Favoritism who? I'm with you, David. I am with you. I was enamored with this look. I was like, this is my favorite look. And what she did with him and his look and kept hit, because that's not his original mask. She put some stuff on the mask to make it more scarier and creepier. It was so good. I loved it. And she also adapted very well to his skill set. She was like, I know what you could do, and I know what I'm going to do. So let's make it work. And he flipped over her, and then he was like creepy and going around, and she's running, and he's following, and it was such a good story. Like, they told a story. That was the difference with Cattriona and her partner. They did a lot of tricks, but I don't know what the story was. This was a story she gave me. I'm coming out. I'm just minding my business, writing in my little book, and then this creepy creeper comes out, and he's trying to get me, and I'm running. I'm running. He's chasing. I'm running. He's chasing. Then he grabs me and takes me back into the abyss of whatever. It was, and then they had the blue smoke all up. It was so theatrical, such a performance. Both of them looked amazing. This overall, I just don't know how this did not win for me. Right. It was perfection.
And I think her partner had the best delivery. Like, he felt the most natural on stage. He was in his element with this performance. So I think that really helped her out too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they did great. I think the only thing I could dock her on, and again, this is me just nitpicking, in a partner challenge, I would have liked to see her partner on stage for more than he was. I think that's really my only. He was there for, I think, half of the runway presentation, And while what they did together was fantastic, I would have, for a partner challenge, I would have liked to see him a little bit more on stage. But that's really it. Otherwise, I mean, this is incredible. So, scores.
I gave them a 95.
I'm gonna give them as close as I can because I'm not giving any full cups today because nobody got that. But it was a 97 for me.
I'll give it a 90. So next up is Kelly with Fresero Jr. Kelly is doing Viruta y Capulina, a comic strip based on the legendary comedy duo that starred in many movies together. So this is actual people.
Okay. Yeah, so we went from my Lamas to my Lamenos. Unfortunately, I love Kelly, but this did not work for me. So I get excited when I see like a king type of look on these shows, but it just felt like there was such absolute minimal effort put into these looks. Like we saw her working so hard the whole time in the Knicks lounge to get his beard black. But I'm like, couldn't you have spent your time on something else? I don't know. I was very disappointed, and I really like most of them. I could kind of tell what the story was. This story, no idea. I could not tell you a single thing about this story because it was so confusing to me. So, people in the comments, please tell me what was going on here because I don't get it.
I didn't get their story. I didn't get anything about it. I was like, this looks so basic and like she bought that at Walmart. She could have bought this outfit at Walmart and both of them. And it was the wigs were bad. It just I didn't like anything about this look. Nothing about the look. Nothing about the performance. Nothing.
Yeah, this was my least favorite as well. I like y'all said, it didn't seem like there was a whole lot of effort put in. I will say the zip tying detail on the pants, I think, adds a little bit of interest, but it's not on Kelly's. But like her partner just doesn't have really anything dragged up about him other than a wig and like a little bit of makeup. And I don't even think Kelly's makeup is that good either. Like it's no. Scores?
I'm going to give them a 46.
Oh no. For the first time, I think I'm going to have to do it in Lamas history. I've not done this in Lamas.
I thought you had.
I don't think I had.
Peaches?
Did I?
I think so.
Maybe I might have. But for this, I'm about to do it again because I'm pleading the amorphous on this one.
I think the delivery, despite not knowing the story, was still fine. So I'm going to give it a 40. Next up, Juana Guadalupe y Mamba. They are doing Calimán, who's one of the most famous Mexican superheroes from the golden age of comics.
Well, first of all, I do want to say we didn't talk about Mamba too much when we were discussing the Knicks Lounge stuff, but I'm very intrigued by them, and I would love to know more about them and their story. They mentioned being an exotico, and I'm not exactly sure what that means, but they talked about being so supportive by people that they wrestle with, despite being an exotico. But please, in the comments, please let me know everything there is to know about them.
I believe it's a term for, and again, I could be wrong, so please let us know. I believe it's a term for the more effeminate wrestlers in Lucha Libre, because that's kind of what the subtitles led me to think, because it was kind of explained a little bit.
Yeah, I had some assumptions too, but I I'd rather be sure. So that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
But and that was nothing against you. That was just my own thoughts.
Mhm.
But I will say, as soon as they came out, I couldn't tell which one was Juana. So it took me a second, and then I finally realized which one was which. Um, but I did like their performance. I like their chemistry. Um, the looks were okay to me. I wanted a little bit more from them. I did like the story and the message, though. But overall, I think I probably still would have had them in the bottom three, just because it didn't quite connect with me like most of the others did. So I was a little surprised that the judges were loving it as much as they did. But I do love Juana, so I wouldn't have wanted to see her in danger anyways. But overall, it was good.
Yeah. Exotico, for the record, is male wrestlers who wear a feminine costumes or performances. So that's what that is. Yeah, they appropriate feminine aspects in their wrestling personas or gimmicks through feminine costumes. So that's what
Okay.
Exotico is. But I like this look. I thought they did a really, it was a good job on the runway. I was like, oh, they pimped out. Oh, look at the swag. Wow. And Mambo was like getting down and dirty with it. I was like, yeah, I love the swag in it. It was kind of cute. Um, I like the message. Like, big girl, we can do stuff with your big bodies, and just because I ain't got a six pack don't mean I ain't nothing. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was really designed well and put together well, but I don't think it was anything like super wow. I wasn't like super wow by it, but I liked it. I thought they did a good job with the performance.
I'm sorry, I had one more thought. I'm sorry, Logan.
Mhm.
I did want to point out that Yari gave a really good critique that, like, as soon as she said it, I'm like, oh, that's absolutely right. But she talked about how when Juana took off the headpiece, you just saw her normal hair, and she could have done something to drag it up and still kept it a masculine hair, but not make it look like, oh, this is just what my hair looks like every day. So I think that probably would have helped this a bit for me.
I thought this was still good. I think the interpretation of the comic, I think, was really good. I like what Juana brought to it. Um, the whole the message, the Alexis Mvgler message, if you will, I think was really well done. Yeah, I thought I liked both of these outfits a lot. Yeah, of course.
I gave it a 69.
Nice.
Nice. I give it a 72.
I'm gonna give them an 80. And last up, we had La Kyliezz with Diamante Azul. They're doing Rarotonga, which is another of the pulp comic strips, books, things. That one. Yeah.
um, yeah, I thought this was a strong week for Kylie's, honestly. I've been pretty tough on her the whole season, but I think she stepped this up and she gave a lot more of a performance than we usually get from her. I've been like, oh, she's always so dead when she's on the runway, but she came out immediately. She's dancing on the stage, and you could feel like she was in her element. So I appreciated that. The looks weren't extravagant, but I still like them. I just mostly like the confidence. I didn't fully understand the story, but I wasn't bored by it. So I guess that's a plus. There was a lot of slapping and abuse, but she said it was all consensual. So okay, yeah, I liked it.
I like the I don't mind the look. I think it's pretty. She looks pretty. I like how she performed it. Did I get the whole story completely? No. And that's okay. I didn't have to get it. I thought she performed it well. I thought her and her partner worked off of each other well. I thought it was a little like they kind of lost where they were going at points. Like, what do we do? I hit you now? Do I slap you here? Or I think they were kind of confused on what to do. But it was still an enjoyable performance for me. Looks are simple, but they look good. Sometimes simple works if you know how to if you pull it off good and well. And I think she pulled it off well.
Yeah, I thought this was. I mean, Kyliezz is only really improving over the last couple of weeks, and I'm really happy to see it as someone that really, really likes Kyliezz. I thought the look was good on the more simple side, but I think it's still a really good look. I think his look is good, but I agree. I think there was a bit of confusion as far as like what was happening when, and the acting wasn't super together, but I don't think it was bad by any means. I will say I was a little surprised that their score was as high as it was. I still wouldn't have put her anywhere near the bottom, but yeah, I thought she did good. I love this wig on her too.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving very Ruby Ocean. I was like, oh, I kind of like this. I'm like, because I don't think we've really seen her in short hair. So, not that I remember. So
Not
I was
that
like,
I
oh,
remember
this is
either.
lovely. Okay.
Look cute.
Yeah, scores.
I gave her 78.
I will give her 72.
I'm going to give her an 83. So. And we do have our two Las Tres looks. We don't have the references for these looks. I'm sorry. We didn't have time to do research. So we're just going to judge them based off of the look, and that's about it. But I love that all of the makeover partners for this was some combination of Veneno, Venenito, and Toxico. I thought that was very fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, first up, Peaches.
Yeah. So I'll just say up front, this goes for pretty much everybody. Since we didn't get the full like makeover, like they didn't really do much to Toxico, Veneno, Venenito. So that kind of hindered them compared to all the other people. But as far as Peaches goes, this is actually one of my favorite things from her. I really like this story. I liked her delivery. I liked the transition. Maybe it's just I have low low expectations from her, but she definitely surpassed them. I thought she was one of the better ones in Tu Las Traes. Yeah, she did pretty good.
I mean, the look is fine. Like we said, we can only really base it on the look because her performance was getting on my nerves. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, if you don't speed this up and hurry up and do your reveal, it was just too long.
You can watch it at 2x like I do.
I did watch it at 2x, and it was too long. I was like, Jesus, moving along. It was just too much. But the transition, the reveal, it was pretty. It turned out. I think this is one of her better ones for me as well. And I do think the bar was set really low for her. So yeah, great. Good for you, girl. It was good.
It's fine. I'm not nearly as high on this as either of you are. I didn't really love the first outfit, and then the second outfit, this wig. I don't even think she shook it. I think she took it out of the bag and crumpled it up under that dusty ass other wig. And yeah, I didn't love it. I don't think she looks bad. I didn't love it. So, of course.
I ain't never say love. Never heard
I
love.
know.
Peaches, you're gonna get a 70 from me.
Peaches is gonna get a 60 from me.
Peaches is going to get a 62 from me. Onk! I'm mad at the judges every single week.
I hate them every week for this. I hate them every week for this.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, Ankh is always the exception. Like I can always count on. She's old, reliable, is who she is. But yeah, this looks great. And once again, she's like, I'm not gonna give you whatever gender you expect. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna flip it on its head. I'm gonna make it no gender. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Did I get animation from this? No, but there's probably a great reference that she was going for. But yeah, I thought she looked stunning. Like this was one of my favorite looks across the board this episode. So great job as always, Onk.
I seriously hate the judges every week I see up on this episode, on this Lustrous. I hate them. She did not. They did not deserve to leave that competition when they did. Mm-hmm. And we are missing. I mean, we're seeing these looks, but we're not even seeing the full potential of these looks. Like, what would she have done if she would have been in the competition with the partner and they had to do something like this? I could just imagine. She probably would have got one of like the pig defenders and made him into a bull and put some horns on him, and they did this whole thing. I would have loved it. I cannot stand the judges for sending Onk home when we could have gotten more and more and more and more amazing looks. But this is beautiful. This is stunning.
It's so good, and there's really nothing else I can say about it. It's so good. It's so good. Scores.
I'm going to give it a 90.
You know what? You get it. You get it. Only you get it. Full cup for you. Screw you, judges.
I'm also going to give Onk a 90. Braulio.
When Braulio left, I was so disappointed. And the preceding weeks after Braulio left, I was like, dang, I'm so disappointed. But now I'm looking at Braulio and I'm like, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. This is another one. I expect more from you, Braulio, and you're not giving it to me. And maybe the animation theme just doesn't work with your aesthetic. I get that, but it just
pretty sure they said in the thing that they really had no concept for animation, and so they just looked this up.
Okay.
I think. Y'all both watched it at 2 times speed. I actually went ahead and watched the whole thing in full with subtitles on so I could see what everybody was saying.
I watched it 2 times speed, but I had the subtitles on and I can read fast. So I read that he said that they did not know anything about animation, and so they had to look it up. So I knew that.
Okay, well, that's great. David didn't.
I didn't, but I also haven't figured out how to translate the subtitles. Because when I do it, it's in
darling, it's the settings button.
Okay, well, I'll figure it out one of these days.
No, you won't. You're just going to forget to do it again, but it's okay.
Sorry.
That's no shade. That's just like, you'll probably forget.
Probably. But yeah, this was giving me a little bit of Yovska realness, and I love me some Yovska. Although Yovska would never. Lana.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel about this. And I'm a fan of Braulio. I don't know. I don't get it. It's a scarecrow. Okay.
I think it's fine. I don't know what I'm being presented with, but I think what I'm being presented with is fine. So yeah. Scores.
I'll do 55.
Yeah. 50.
60. Purga.
The highlight of this was my boyfriend Toxico jumping over that tail a couple of times. I thought that was adorable. No, but Purga, I don't know. I kind of like the look. It just feels a little incomplete to me. Like if she's gonna go for this lizard look, I wish she had committed and applied it to her face as well, because just seeing like a normal human face, it's just making the rest of it look costumey to me. But it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I just kind of wish she had committed fully, you know. That's all I have to say.
I did like him jumping over the tail. It's alright. It's alright. I really don't even know what to say. It's the dress on top of a. I don't even know what that is. Her makeup is alright. I don't get it, but I guess it's alright.
This is actually one of my favorite things Purga's worn. I think it's cute. I like the pink skirt over the bodysuit with the boot, and I think the tail was cute. I thought this was the best presentation of partner things that happened on Two Last Days. But yeah, scores.
I'll give her 71.
Give her 70.
80.
Sure.
Wow. Hell is frozen over.
I know. I know. Not for long. Now, I want to say, we talked a lot of shit about Alexis Mvgler's look last week. And then we were informed that she lent her original look to Shantelle.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Alexis. I'm taking back all the bad things I had to say about you last week. Your look was still not good, but you're a good sister, and that's what matters.
Yeah. And we've never had anything bad to say about who Alexis. Well, maybe the first episode. She was a little annoying that first episode.
I think the first episode we really did. And then after that, we were like, oh, she's great.
Because that was the one she stood in front of Ankh, and she's like, I'm not moving or whatever. But other than that, she's been stunning, fabulous, wonderful, and I still love her. As far as this look goes, it's all right. It's all right. I mean, I don't know. It just feels like I've seen nun looks a lot on these shows, and I've seen leopard print looks a lot on these shows. I don't think I've seen them together, so that's new, I guess. But this was another one that I think she was a little overshadowed by Venenito, because I thought he was great in his performance. And I think somebody pointed out like the death count for Venenito. He's died in so many performances. I don't know if he quite died in this one, but he was being attacked for sure. So poor Venenito, justice for him. But overall, this was fine.
I have a question, and see if one of you all noticed that Alexis made, in some shape, form, or fashion, made an appearance on the main show. I don't know if you saw that. Her black and white boots was on one of the wrestlers on the main stage.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I did notice that, actually.
I said, there's Alexis's boots again.
Well, she doesn't have to wear them herself, so I guess
she let other people borrow them. I was like, look at you being such a kind person. But I was like, these boots are the boots that never goes away. These
And
boots will be
under his mask, you know he was going.
Maybe it was Alexis behind
Conspiracy theory.
was just
Conspiracy theories.
We caught you, girl.
Alexis. You were the one. You were the pig destroyer. Got it. I got it. But I saw the boobs
I'm
and
a
I was like,
fucking pig destroyer.
pig destroyer.
I'm mad I didn't make a cock destroyers reference earlier. Wow.
Oh man. But I saw him and I was like, Alexis is still here in spirit. But this look, it's a nun look. The nun look was fine. She took it off and was twerking and working, and I was like, oh, we're that kind of nun. Well, all right. I'm like you, David, seen nun looks, seen cheetah print looks, never seen them together.
I don't know that I want to anymore.
I don't know if I want to see it again together.
I'm good. I would rather not.
All right. It's a look. And that's all I'll say.
Is it?
It's a look. It's on her body.
It's not a good one.
Didn't say that. Just said it's a look.
That is true. This padding is absolutely atrocious. And it was the only thing I could focus on. She really does not give a fuck anymore either, because she's not wearing tights either. She was like, I don't give a single fuck about this. I don't care.
That competition. She is
I
not
know.
anymore.
But yeah, no, I think this is fine. It's not groundbreaking. It's whatever. Scores. I do whatever.
Yeah. I'll give her a 64.
I'll give her a 60 or whatever.
Sexy Nun can get a 69. Whatever.
Oh, whatever.
Nice.
Whatever.
Oh,
And last up, Ariel.
Yeah. This is not the worst look, but it might be the least impactful look of all of them. Like, it did not stick in my memory after seeing it. But yeah, she looks all right. Like, I could see this being animated for sure. I'm sure it's a very specific character that we don't know, because we don't know any of these characters. But I don't know. Seeing her in this made me feel like I didn't miss much in the show this week by not having her there, because I don't think she would have been in the top. Yeah, it was fine.
I can definitely see this as a cartoon character. I don't know which character, but I can see it as a cartoon character. And I enjoyed this look. I thought it was a really good cartoony look. I think she did well. It was a bit. I liked it. I think she looks pretty. She looks beautiful. Her makeup is right good, and yeah, I like it.
David, I find it really interesting what you were saying, because for me, other than Ankh, this had the most impact of any of the Dulas Trayes looks. I actually really enjoyed this, and I think the reason why I enjoyed it is her performance of it. I got a lot of animation from her face, from her acting, from the way she was working the runway. I didn't need to know what the cartoon was to understand the story that she was presenting. And I really did enjoy that. The look is on the more simple side, but I think it's fun. It's something different for Ariel, which we haven't really seen. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, of course.
I'll give her a 68.
I'm gonna give it an 85.
I'm gonna give it an 85 as well.
Lovely.
Why not? Sure. But yeah, so we get our results. We all named our La Mas and La Menos for the week, correct?
We did. We had the same minnows for all
Kelly.
Yeah. It was all minnows.
And you both would have said Aries.
And you said Cattriona.
And I agreed with the winner of the challenge, which was Cattriona. Her second.
I'm happy for her. I like her. So
I'm happy for her.
I love her, so I'm thrilled. her second win, her first solo win.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very, very happy for her in that regard. With Aries and Electra in the top as well. Electra now being in the top 5 times out of 8 episodes, never
And
placing
not
below
one.
safe, and yet she still has not won a challenge.
Crazy.
Mind-boggling.
Loca.
Loca. Indeed.
But yes, so our bottom 3 ends up being Dimittra, Kelly, and Shantelle. And the bottom 2 ends up being Kelly and Dimittra by scores.
Mm-hmm.
But we know Dimittra has her immunity. And I love Dimittra, so I was very happy that she used it. I'm
Me
happy we
too.
get another week of Dimittra. I'm not mad at it at all. And she got very emotional because she said openly to everyone, if I use my immunity, I'm going to pick the person that was next above me in scoring.
I want to ask before we get further, what did you all think she was going to do when she was saying that?
I thought she was going to pick Shantelle.
Big Shantelle.
I did not, because she seemed so emotional about it that I thought she was going to deviate and go a different route. And I thought that might have been like a subtle way to put a big competitor in the bottom.
I was going to say, who do you think she would have put against Kelly? Because I have an idea.
Yeah, that was my question. I could have seen her putting Electra down
I think it would have been Juana.
there. Okay.
Or Aries.
I think Arias is a good enough performer and lip syncer
to beat.
and
Mhm.
I don't think and I don't know their full performance ability. I don't know that Juana could beat Kelly in a lip sync.
But I don't know if Electra could either.
I definitely don't think. I think the if Electra lands in the bottom at any point, they're going home.
No.
And I don't like saying that, but I think every other person left in the competition, with the exception of maybe Kyliezz. But even then, if it's a song that really fits Kyliezz and does not fit Electra whatsoever, I think we could see that happening.
She's won 2 lip syncs already.
I know she's not the world's best lip syncer. But yes, so Dimittra does use her immunity, saves herself, and puts Shantelle in the bottom. And it made me really sad because I really like both of these queens. But I also like Dimittra. And I was just like, I like everybody left in the competition.
Here, I have a question for you all, though. Because when this happened and when Dimittra was about to use her immunity, I was like, wait, what if Dimittra tried to put Kyliezz in the bottom? And we know Kyliezz has an immunity.
Yes.
So I was like, is she allowed to do that? I think so. She could have flushed her
Probably.
immunity.
I think that probably would have been a smarter idea to do.
I mean, game strategic wise, I would have done that and be like, girl.
Absolutely.
And then use your immunity and you get whoever else you want out. Just so we can get these
Now, who
immunities
would
out the way.
Kyliezz have picked?
Juana, maybe.
Juana. It would have been Juana. Because they've kind of been beefing from day one, remember, because they fought over that. It was the two of them that fought over that middle station, wasn't it?
I think so.
Maybe.
Because they sit right, like, behind each other. So,
and I think it would have been a good move because you could, like, if I'm thinking about it, Kyliezz has been lower in the bottom more than most of the people remaining. So I'm like, what if I'm having an off night next week and I'm third and Kyliezz is in the bottom too, and then suddenly Kyliezz is safe and she puts me in the bottom.
See, the thing is, I don't think Kyliezz would do that. Honestly, I think Kyliezz would go after her biggest competition. So I think if and when we see, because I think their immunities like expire, I think in one of the next 2 episodes, if I remember right. So I think if and when she uses it, she's gonna make a big game move. and put someone big in the bottom. I don't think it'll be Electra, though. Because I think if she's going to put anyone in the bottom, I could see it being Aries.
Could be.
But
we'll never know until it happens.
no. So we get Kelly and Shantelle lip syncing to Azúcar Amargo by Faye. And I liked this song. And I really thought the lip sync was going to go one specific way based on what we were viewing and how I felt about it. And I'll be honest, I watched this lip sync and I said, oh, I'm really disappointed that we're losing Kelly this week. But she had a great run. I'm glad that I got to... Oh, they saved Kelly? They saved Kelly.
It's interesting they saved Kelly because we did not see but maybe 10 seconds of Kelly's whole entire lip sync because the camera was focused on Shantelle the entire time. So
and Shantelle was slaying the house down with the boots.
I mean, she was doing fine, but I can't compare it to what Kelly did because we didn't see it.
Yeah.
Here was my thought. So, yeah, we did see a lot of Shantelle, and I thought she was consistently performing very strong. Not the most amazing thing we've seen, but then the times we did get from Kelly, it wasn't all the time, but there were a few times where she pulled out some tricks. So I felt like Kelly had higher highs from what I could see, but Shantelle was consistently very strong. So I think it could have gone either way.
I think for me, with the song and the vibe of the song, I thought what Kelly was doing was too much, honestly. Because this is very mid-tempo. This is very, like, flowy and just, like, serving face and giving performance. And that's exactly what Shantelle did. And I thought Kelly doing all the stunts and everything, I didn't think any of her stunts fit where she was doing them. There was no punch in the song where she would do a stunt, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess she's doing a stunt. Like, if you're basing it off of who can do the most acrobatics, then sure, Kelly won. But like, if you're going off of a lip sync, as much as I love Kelly, trust, I'm very happy that Kelly is still in the competition. But I really do think at the end of the day, Shantelle danced circles around her and performed a better lip sync, and that's just me.
I couldn't tell. Tell. And that's the whole thing. I would love to sit here and compare the lip syncs and be like, well, Shantelle did this around Kelly. We don't know. We didn't see. We saw parts of what Kelly did. We saw her do a couple of stunts. But then it was back on Shantelle. And it was like, I don't know what Kelly did. So honestly, I can't judge and say one should have won over the other because they didn't show it. And that is the problem with production, and they messed that up in the editing. They did not fairly distribute the time between the two for people. The judges made their decision. They saw a lot of stuff we didn't see. So maybe Kelly was killing it and we just didn't see it because
it might have been the opposite. Maybe they didn't want us to know.
The opposite. I really think it was the opposite.
But, I mean, apparently she did something for them to save her.
Be a good personality and TV character.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that for sure. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
I mean, it's a possibility too. Maybe she was doing horrible and they didn't show it because they didn't want us to be like, how in the world did y'all pick her over her when she was killing it? So they didn't show us anything. And the judge was like, yeah, we got to keep her. The production told them to keep her. So it could go either way. Either she did
production
really great.
Should have been eliminated this episode.
Either she did really great or she did really bad and they just wanted to keep her. But what we saw from Shantelle was lovely. Mm-hmm. It was great. She looked like she knew the song and she was performing it. So all I can judge on Shantelle, but they didn't see it that way and they sent her home. So
I'm really upset about it. Like I haven't been like really, really upset about an elimination this season. I'm gonna be honest. Other than I think Ankh really is the only one where I was like, oh no. This one I was like, no. Like I like had a very visceral reaction. I was like, oh no. I really like Shantelle.
Mm,
And she's on my team, so like that does have something to do with it. But I was like, oh, Shantelle.
yeah,
I'm
that's fine.
bummed. I would have liked to see. I thought everything she presented, that was something she brought, I thought was really, really good. I love her approach to drag, and I think she's got a very unique aesthetic, and I'm excited to see what she does in the future. So I was sad about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She'll be missed.
Yeah. But we're at top 7 with presumably 3 more competitive episodes until the finale. So that's that. Now I want to talk about this draft update.
Nah.
Okay, so you don't want me to bring up that you're still in the lead, David?
Because it's not going to be for long, but it's okay.
Well, Lana, you are now in 3rd place.
I've always been in 3rd place.
Have you?
Yeah, I'm not moved.
No, at one point I was, but you're
No. You've been in 2nd place for the longest. I've been in 3rd place.
Anyway, Lana has 463 points.
That's about right.
I am up to 495 points.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm closing the gap on David, who only has 508 points.
Mm-hmm. So, next week, you will be past me because I've only got 2 people and we share one of them.
Well, I have 3 now. So Lana and I both have 3. So if all of our people bomb, and Aries, Juana, and Dimittra are in the top 3, which is a very feasible possibility, I'm guaranteed at least one more week of Kyliezz, so I'll take that. But that is that. Woo. Thank you so much for joining us for our coverage of Mas Draga, and thank you again to all of the Mas Draga fans for supporting us, supporting the show that we are slowly becoming truly obsessed with. So thank you all very much. We will be back here next week, same time, same place, different. Actually, it's never a different panel. It's literally the same panel every single time.
And I want to say something about that. I decided to start rotating in and out of some of the shows we covered, but I told Logan and Lana, I'm not rotating out of Mas. That's the one show I'm doing every week.
We would not let him rotate out of Mas Draga, even if he wanted to. We would not want to let him
if
do
one
it.
of us miss it, it's because life is lifing. Like that's
life,
really
exactly.
So like, but yes, we will be back here, same time, same place, same panel to talk about episode 9 of Mas Draga, El Sexto Sentido. In the meantime, we are here almost every day of the week talking about something drag related. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Several of you are not subscribed to this channel.
You're watching, but you're not subscribed.
I don't know the exact statistic, but I could pull it up if I really wanted to. But we appreciate your support regardless. Let us know in the comments all the things we got wrong, because there's probably a lot of them. Make sure to check out our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow the 3 of us as well. And while you're down in the description, clicking all the links down there and supporting us, you could get your merch, including but not limited to the Cup mug. And with all that being said, cheers.
Cheers.
Adios.
Adios.
Bye.